the underground! Make madness your ritual!
Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. Hopefully, I am here. It's Friday. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic week. It is the end of the goddamn week for most of us, and I appreciate that very much. Again, thank you very much for joining us. You were listening to some new tunes from the band Domidium. Is that how we say that? Domidium. Lucian's Odyssey, I believe that's what it is called. The new release from these guys is called Beyond. It's going to be coming out real soon, and we're going to get all the down low on this whole thing. Do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755. Again, that's 612-353-4755. If you want to get some tattoo work, check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. If you got some ideas, some questions about ink, a question about some artwork, anything like that, you want to send them some good vibrations, anything like that, lowbrowsaints@gmail.com, or give them a call. Again, 612-353-4755. I almost feel like Earl Root right there. Like I'm actually on the radio doing something cool with myself. Instead, I'm doing a podcast in a hot-ass studio. How is it that you pay $400 for rent, but you still can't get the air conditioning turned on in your own studio? It's pretty ridiculous. But enough about me. We're here with the fellas in Domidium. What's going on, fellas? How's it going? Can we?
Great. Hola, ¿cómo te va?
Look at this. Look at this. Hey, we're trying something new here. We got the Zoom going, and these guys were kind enough to, like, instead of like having multiple Zooms going on at the same time, they all join the party in one single room. How you guys doing tonight? Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was funny because it like went from one end of the couch to the other, like bing bong bong. Everybody just went, yeah, we're good. So guys, thanks.
Look at this. I can shrink like Mario.
Yep. So I'm happy that you guys are here and that you wanted to do the show. Why don't you do me a favor and start from one end or the other and tell me what your name is and what you do in the band.
We'll start with Alan.
What's that? Go ahead. Things are. It's like cutting out. I don't know why, but we're like cutting out. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
You sound smooth.
Go ahead and try that again. Okay, go ahead.
Didn't work? Okay. I'm Brian. I play guitar.
Welcome.
Micah vocals.
Tom drums.
Tom on drums.
Of course. Drums. Get it?
Now, who's awesome space are you guys in right now?
This is my house.
This is your place, huh? Dude,
My place.
That background is fantastic, man. We were talking about it right before the show on there, and you've got like laser cut rush deals in your windows up there. That's pretty freaking sick. Now, how did you get those done, and like who did that stuff for you?
My brother did that for me. He used to work at this place that had a laser cutter, and it's black acrylic. He just laser cut it, and then we measured it to my port windows and put red spotlight gel behind it.
Oh, nice.
Now they're my power windows. You get the rush connotation.
Hell yeah. And then that's got your, now the interesting one was when you told me about the Judas Priest on the wall back there, the centerpiece there. Now tell me about.
That was from when I was in high school. I was in my bedroom when I lived in Illinois.
Holy shit.
Little kid. Small.
And like yeah, small fellas. So let me see here. So what's on the agenda here, guys? You've got a new disc coming out. You got one right in front of you sitting there, right? Why don't you hold up the disc for us?
That's the boy. Take a look at this gorgeous, thing that happened here. We just got these today.
Yeah, it came today. It gets released on May 19th.
Very cool.
May 19th now. Are you guys are doing a CD release show?
We're planning it. We don't have anything concrete yet. We're working on it.
Okay, but you're going to release it on all the streaming platforms and then have them available
Yep.
for people to purchase.
Yeah.
Do you have do you have any spots lined up to do like to sell them around town, like what is it?
Oh yeah, I'll meet up with Jeepos and down in the valley.
Okay, sweet.
Love both those places.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but I'm actually putting out a line with certain street size thing. You can purchase disc or digital content, or just stream us.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know why when Alan talks, it's like he's not getting in the mic, so it's like cutting out when he talks. So
Because he's the bassist.
Oh, Alan, do you want to switch with me? I got to boom your voice.
Bassist.
We're gonna switch sides.
all right.
Bass problems.
It's gonna be musical chairs.
Musical chairs. Heavy metal chairs.
Shadows.
I think the problem was I was actually closer to the mic over there. Really? So that's why I was cooking.
All right, test her out.
Now I can hear you a bit more, actually, Alan. So go ahead. What were you saying?
So I was saying on 19th we'll be live on all typical streaming sites and Bandcamp. And Bandcamp, you can purchase digital, stream, or purchase physical.
Awesome. Now
Physical.
this is a mixture of a couple different projects, correct? The original project that was going on for a while, and Alan, you joined Hex Vortices kind of at the tail end of it, correct?
Yeah, like basically right as the pandemic was happening.
You say basically?
Basically, shut up, Sandy. No, but yeah, I joined basically as the pandemic was happening, and we spent a lot of nights when we were supposed to be locked down and not out in public in practice space. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You gotta mention, Matt.
So now, now as and beyond the Hex Vortices stuff, now where did the other guys come from? What other bands did you guys play in? Mike, I'm not positive. What other projects have you been in?
My previous project is Age of Swear. We're still trying to get a record out there. We were playing shows, and then like after the 2020, like it just things kind of fell apart as far as live stuff goes. But and then I also have a project called Sentient Machine, and another project which I'm not even sure how to say the names in binary, but it's like 00101 something. I don't know.
Isn't that a Clutch song?
I'll never. It is. It is. It is not a Clutch reference though, but it is.
Nice.
Whoa.
How about you, Sarah? What other projects were you in?
Well,
I haven't really been involved in anything.
Just around town. So are you new to the music scene, or are you just new to this particular project?
New to this band, yeah.
Yeah, we found him through a pretty good referral, Mr. Josh Kellerman.
oh yeah, Mr. Kellerman.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. That's very cool. And so how long have you been, let me poke at you a little bit. Like, so how long have you been playing your perspective instrument? Like what was your first instrument? What got you playing?
Guitar. I mean, I've been playing for,
He's been playing with himself for a while.
I don't know, about over 30 years, 32 maybe.
Oh.
And just, I've played in some bands around town and everything, but nothing, huge.
Yeah, this guy can rip. I've heard him solo.
He's our little guy incognito. He's not on social media or anything.
That's awesome.
He's our little. He's our secret weapon over here. This guy.
I don't have Facebook. I will admit that. Facebook is not my friend.
Yeah, no,
That's okay.
I totally get it, man. I social media can be, more of a hindrance sometimes. You know what I mean? If you've had other things go on in your past, or if you know what I mean, you got a lot of ex-girlfriends, they'll find you on there too. Or if you're married, the ex-girlfriends will contact your wife, or you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of trouble on Facebook, man. You get stuck in the political rut with everybody else, and it's like trying to have a conversation with someone, and you got 20 other people chiming in, and it could be nonsense, man. Complete nonsense. I get it.
Distraction for sure.
Now, now as you join these cats, I mean, you're really kind of joining an all-star lineup of fantastic musicians. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you weren't playing with top-notch cats, now all of a sudden you're playing with some pretty top-notch cats. How's that feel for you to kind of jump into something like that?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
You put him on a spot. Come on.
He's a top-notch guy.
He fits. You did the solo on Lucians, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite solos on the whole record. You just listened to that song, right?
Yep. Okay.
And that solo, like, I think you did both, right?
No, I just did the one.
The main solo.
The main solo, that's like one of my favorite parts. Like, that's when the song crescendos, and like a lot of it is Brian's influence playing guitar on there. It sounds fantastic. It's one of my absolute favorite parts on the whole record, to be
When
honest.
things get turgid.
You better buckle in, buckaroo.
So let me ask you this: how many songs you have on the disc?
What is it, 11?
Yeah. I had to look.
11.
We have 11. Yeah, it's 11.
Yeah.
10 songs plus the interlude.
And so they've written within the last year.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
So now Alan and Tom are some of these songs leftovers from Hex Vortices? Are there any like ideas?
I won't say that because
We were
as Hex was going out, there were a lot of practices that the full band wasn't together. I'll just say that.
right.
So Matt, Tom, and I may have been jamming on some things. So we had some stems, a couple stems we came into this project with.
Okay.
So like they're not as they were, when we brought them in. Micah and Brian have put a lot of flavor onto like whatever stems we brought in and whole new songs. So, and we should have, like, Matt Hamilton's not here tonight. He had other commitments. He's moving tomorrow, so he's packing.
Oh yeah,
But kind of wish he was here. But like him and Brian, like huge forces as far as like songwriting and instrument ability.
Absolutely.
Use the force regularly.
With each other.
So
Consensually.
with as the Hex Vortices thing came down, you know what I mean? Like I know that that Matt actually did some solo stuff with the Scourge stuff, right? That was like his kind of go-to thing.
Yeah.
Now
That was me and his.
That's good stuff.
Now, as you guys were trying to find newer members for this newer project, I mean, could you feel the momentum? Did you feel like once you got these guys in the room? I mean, I know the process of breaking in new cats and getting used to new cats and like trying to sit down and write some of these ideas out. Did these guys really like add a whole new aspect to what you guys were already working on at the end of Hex?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely feel so. I mean, there's the whole trial process. Like we sent out tracks for people sending like samples and stuff on. We heard this dude, Micah's sample track. Then he came down for one jam. Like he walked out of the room and I told the other two, and I'm like, we got to get him. And I said, no,
I'm sorry about that, Tom. I can't apologize enough. No, actually, Tom's already familiar with my talents. We actually, when he was playing a show with Thor, and it was one of my first shows with Aegis Warrior, so he already kind of he was familiar with me. I was familiar with Tom a little bit in the scene, so there was kind of that at least like expectation, like he knew what to expect from me and so on.
Yeah, I think with Brian's tryout, I mean, he sent me some samples. It clicked right away. Like it was just like jamming with a band member you've been jamming with forever. Like
He kept trying to take his gear after every jam.
As I leave that here, you're staying.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's
That's
a good feeling too, man. You know what I mean? You get a cat involved in it, and you know when that hits you, you know what I'm saying? You know, like you said, Alan, you wanted to get the cat in the band right away. You know, that's a great feeling. And when you hear those elements coming together, and it just spurs more creativity and more creativity. Now with the clean vocals, I noticed, you know, there wasn't a lot of that stuff in Hex, but I know that Matt started doing some different vocal stuff and doing some stuff in his solo stuff, correct? More of the sing style stuff. Now,
we made a point after Hex that we didn't want to do the same thing. We didn't want enough balls. We wanted to stretch out. It's going to be metal. but we didn't want any rules on what we were going to do.
The wall-
And we also didn't want it to be considered like Hex 2.0.
Yeah, so
Because we wanted to,
More of a gazebo.
we dropped all the Hex material, we changed keys, we're in a different key. And then,
It's a new frontier.
yeah, just completely starting from scratch. This stuff we had, like Alan said, the stems of the songs, they became completely different with this band. And we wanted a singer instead of the guttural. 'Cause,
Right.
You know, I have, it's fine, but
we've done that a lot. And it was just time to change, and here we are.
Yeah, that's
And I'm grateful for that. It's funny when I auditioned for these guys, they said something. What was it like a stew block or whatever? So like when I came in, the first song I worked on was Dragon Slayer, and you could kind of hear me kind of emulating that particular style of vocal. I've done a lot of power metal in the past, and with this project, I didn't want another power metal project because I already have that. It's taken time to kind of find my identity as to where I fit in stylistically here, but I think I found a really nice balance. Like there's from this album from beginning to end, you'll hear everything from like death metal gutturals to like Rob Halford highs, and I think that's such an interesting, exciting blend that you don't hear often. Like it's got to keep you engaged the whole time. Like you don't know what's coming around the next corner.
right.
I like to think of it as like a painter with like a canvas, and I want to paint with every color that's available in my arsenal, and we definitely did that with this album.
Yeah, man.
We're going for sex.
Sexy Hate, I like that. That's the name of our next record.
Tom with the zinger, dude, the sexy hate. That's awesome. I love it, man. I was actually pleasantly surprised, man, when I turned it on right before I was getting everything set, and I had played the songs a couple times, and I was pleasantly surprised just the change up. You know what I mean? I appreciated it, and you don't hear a lot of local bands that actually step into those waters of trying to incorporate multiple things instead of just the heavy stuff, or heavy, a little bit of clean, you know what I'm saying? Where it's not real Rob Halfordy. It's not real high pitched,
Jeffrey Rise says, I dig it. Rips with some math. Good mixture of genres.
What the fuck is happening?
Who is that?
That
Is
was
that Stephen Hawking? What's going on?
Yeah, that was Steven right there
There he
from
is.
the grave. From the grave. Jeffrey Rice says I
Stephen
did.
Hawking's a fan, guys. That's so cool.
So Jeffrey Rice from Cymothwa says I dig it.
Oh.
Riffs with some math. Good mixture of genres. He said.
Nice, thanks, brother.
Cymothwa is a great band too. I mean, I love those guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic too, man.
They're great.
So
they're up there.
Up and going with their new drummer. We need to get with them.
Absolutely.
dude's wicked. I've seen some stuff already. With the stuff they've kind of teased everybody with. I'm excited to hear their next album. They've always come up with some really cool stuff. So now, Micah, when you were, I like to throw this out to people who haven't been on the show before. When you were younger, like what was in the house musically? Like what was your mom and dad listening to? What were your brothers and sisters listening to? And from that stuff that was going on in the house, what pushed you towards heavier music? What kind of drew you towards it?
That is such an interesting question. So this is very interesting. So like my dad, he's more of a folk kind of guy. Like he likes like his Steve Miller band and like Los Lobos and all kinds of stuff. He introduced me to a lot of cool stuff like Jimi Hendrix and stuff. But my mom, she more was into like popular music, but she kind of influenced me a little bit early on with the Phil Collins stuff. And now I'm like the hugest Genesis fan, and that's kind of my mom. I love prog. So like growing up, I grew up in Rockford, Illinois, or Belvedere, Illinois. I've moved around a little bit in the area. It's not a lot of metal there. So like it's not something I was ever exposed to until one day a friend of mine called me on the phone. He's like, yo, you got to listen to this. This is amazing. And he played me this song that was like it was a collaboration between Korn and Limp Bizkit. It was that time period,
Okay,
and it blew me away. I'm like, I've never heard anything like this. What is this? And as soon as I heard that, it was over. It was over. And then like I would just keep exploring more and more stuff, and just absorbing metal, and that was it.
That's fantastic, dude. That's cool, man. Like, so now, do you play any instruments other than do vocals?
I absolutely. I play drums, vocals, guitars, keyboards, bass. Like you listen to Sentient Machine, that's all me. Or Aegis Warrior, like the first album. I play all the instruments except for bass. Jeff Igelsrud did the bass for that. He did a great job. So, and I wrote all that too. So, I'm a writer at heart.
Awesome. Now that's got to be pretty awesome coming into this particular situation too, with Matt and Tom and Alan, being so tight as a unit coming out of Hex Vortices. That's got to be, that's a pretty damn good collective to jump into. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it absolutely is. And that's a great thing too. Just with a bunch of writers, being able to collaborate. And everybody's on fire. Like, we finished this album, and we haven't even stopped. Like, we already got like another album's worth of material. We've already been going.
Have prints right here, and our Google Drive is going nuts with ideas from Micah, Brian, Matt. Like, these three guys never stop writing. I can't keep up with them. As far as like, I can't get ahead learning songs to actually write any myself.
We're gelling, and you were going to ask a question before about like how things have changed. Like, you talked about breaking down the walls, and that's been a key here. That's I think something that Tom wanted and Matt wanted, and we've pretty much, it's like anything goes. You come up with an idea, let's try it and make it happen. Like, we can make it work. I like listening to a record that's eclectic and surprising, where you don't know what's around the next corner. As long as it's well written and it works, that's the challenge. But we got so much talent here. Like, I'm just really excited with what we've done and moving forward, what we have planned in the future. It's really great stuff.
Now with stuff like that too, as far as a collective, when you're writing all that stuff together, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, do you guys take pieces from each guy? Like, say Matt comes up with a piece, Brian comes up with a piece, and I mean, do people come in with full written songs, or like, do you guys really throw?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
It's a bit of both.
I think like people like start, like if Brian writes something or I write something, or if Matt writes something, it starts off as what they have, and they usually have a pretty fleshed out idea, right? And then we put it in the drive, and then the rest of us listen to it, and maybe we'll add our own little bits into it, and then that's when it becomes a collaborative effort. Like, someone lays the groundwork, like to start, and then the details come from everybody else moving on.
Right.
We all kind of learned it at home, but once we start like hashing the space and start breaking out song structure, it's like, okay, and that's when we start kind of like hashing out. Like, okay, now we need to do this many repetitions of that, or let's throw that there.
Things will change if somebody comes up with an idea. It'll just all very good. And develop sense of bands.
I mean, we write some structured like that too, but then we have other songs that just started as jams and they're just stuck.
Right.
Like Dotar Sojet, what is the music in that song? That started as just like one or two of us were listening to probably a lot of Gojira that day.
Yeah, back from Mustard Fury, and
it just we might have had a couple beers in us. We started playing a sludgy riff, and it stuck, and he threw some lyrics on it. So
Bada bing, bada boom.
So,
it's been very organic.
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite stuff. I feel like when you're in a jam with someone, and you don't time it out, say like, we're going to play this 4 times and then we're going to switch, right? So you're playing it 4 times, then it goes to 6, and then all of a sudden it organically changes into something else, and it, like, that feeling into the next wave of riffs and really emotions. I always feel like when you're gelling with cats and you're pulling out ideas or sussing out ideas, it is so detrimental to like just let it flow. And a lot of people, a lot of band cats, they're not into that type of jam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came with this riff, you come with a riff, we piece them together. They don't like really flush them out by just feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because that feeling,
capable of doing that, but just jamming. I think everybody in this group.
It's kind of a blend of all that, like it's a lot of like, smart All these guys are really smart when it comes to songwriting, like structure and stuff and blending. But yeah, a lot of it does come together and when we jam,
we'll all sit down and like freestyle for like 30 minutes on some random shit.
Yeah.
So like we're all capable of it. So I enjoy writing that way. That's like my preferred writing style. So like that's
actually, that being said, I think a lot of how we want to develop after this.
Adam CD says, "Evening gentlemen, I sincerely apologize for interrupting. The fact you guys are in a healthy cooperation of music, it's really awesome to hear. Hats off to you guys for being in a healthy group."
That's Adam. Thank you. That's Adam. That's Adam D
it's
from
kind of rare
Wolfmask.
though. Like it's not often that like when these cats with Hex Vortices were kind of looking for well, it was me and Brian, but like the vocalist and another guitarist, like you know how it is with bands, especially in this scene. It can take a lot of time to find the right guy. Sometimes you just go with the guy that fits, and then it ends up not working out or whatever, But here it just it was very fortunate. Like everything just came at the right time, and it's like lightning in a bottle, really. I feel we all get along really great, and we all work off each other really excellently. Coming.
Now I
just prior to a podcast, I'm pretty much throwing a fit because of technical difficulties. And they're like, "Yeah,
I love you, Peanut.
Just let him be."
Yeah, but here's the thing though, and Tom's been on the show a few times. He knows that's like how it happens with this podcast. Like, I've had so many technical difficulties in throughout the years. It's nothing surprises me. It's like the fucking gremlins get involved, and then there's nothing that you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to ask you guys. It seems like you guys are working very, very well together, and things are gelling. Things are pumping out fast. Now, cohesiveness. Now with the album as you put it together. Now, when you get those tracks done and you start doing your set lists and getting ready to put that down on record. Now, once you look at that record and the stuff that you've written since you've pressed this record, do you feel like you could take those and intertwine those together? Are they cohesive throughout all of the stuff that you've made so far?
I think so. And I mean, I wouldn't say like song ideas we have now would be like a direct stylistic replacement for like a particular track, but I think we could find a way to sort it into the same set list or into the same, put it on the album.
I think what's important for a band's identity is for the core to always remain. Like whatever you establish the core of your band, keep it that way, and then you just add layers of different stuff as you evolve and grow. And then you have this much more complex and more interesting thing that you have per album. So like the second album, we have a lot more Brian on that one, because he came in a little bit later in the writing process for the first album. There's a lot more Brian, so that's going to add a whole nother flavor to it, all by itself. And then me, I kind of have a little bit more of a focused idea of what it is my identity is as a vocalist for this project is. So there's going to be a little bit more focus there, I think. So it's essentially just going to evolve and grow naturally. So this, whatever we're writing now, it'll fit in, but it'll be a more nuanced, more evolved, more focused thing, as bands should. They should be able to grow and evolve. Oh, I'm slipping in deep. Give me that prod.
All the deepness. Now, Brian, I want to poke at you a little bit. Now, musically, Brian, what were you listening to as a kid? What was buzzing around your place? What brothers and sisters, friends, homies, whoever? What were you listening to as a kid? What influenced you to even pick up a guitar or get involved in music?
Well, I mean, my folks listen to, as anybody says, they listen to the Stones, the Beatles, and so I heard that really early on. I mean, I knew in grade school who the Beatles were, and but then I really got into music when my cousin Ted played me some Kiss. I'd never heard of them before. I mean, I was late to the game, of course, because it was
yeah, which Kiss was it?
Well, there was a number of them because he had Rock and Roll Over, and he had Live One. They had Love Gun, and but they didn't have Hotter Than Hell and Destroyer like I did. So I was like, no, you guys don't have these ones, do you? And but I listened. I mean, that was what blew my socks off. But I heard those albums. I mean, Kiss was already on their way down at that point. It was like '78. Okay. So I that's what I heard. But that's what I got into, and then it just went from there. It just went into metal. I mean, when Quiet Riot came out, Van Halen, Motley Crue. I mean, I went through all of that, and then Metallica. I mean,
Theater of Pain is your favorite.
Yeah, Theater of Pain is my favorite.
Don't forget about Air Supply.
Yeah, one too. I love Air Supply, and but Metallica was like the big one. That was like, I mean, that was groundbreaking back then, and nobody knew who they were. And I was listening to it and getting picked on for it in high school.
Really?
So they're like, "What the fuck is this shit you're listening to?" But but they were all listening to Rat, and Bon Jovi. So
damn, so you were literally too cool for school.
No, I wasn't cool at all.
Come on, Metallica is way cooler than that other.
It happened again 20 years later. If you like Saint Anger, people picked on you too.
Who liked Saint Anger? Did you like Saint Anger? Did you get picked on for that? Is this something reception right now? Because I'm gonna pick on you a little bit.
It's there.
I liked it at first, because it's like new Metallica. You get excited and then the hype wears off. It's like when the Star Wars prequels came out. You liked them at first, and then
Well, I talked about this, on the podcast several times. Like the Black Album was one of those albums that I hated and I loved all at the same time. I didn't really care for the music after, and Justice for All was to me one of their last great albums. You know what I'm saying? And I was with like you, Brian. I started. I came in with the hair metal. You know what I mean? Like I listened to all that old classic rock, into the hair metal stuff, and then found like Metallica and Megadeth and things like that. And then I went into the thrash stuff. But then we were getting picked on in high school for this stuff that we listened to, and like all the jock dudes and shit, they would fuck with us, for having long hair, whatever. And we smoked cigarettes and pot and did stupid shit. But it was like, once the Black Album hit, okay, it was like all those jock dudes all of a sudden were listening to Enter Sandman, and then they came to town with Suicidal Tendencies in Danzig out at Float Right. And I went to that show and seen, all these jock dudes with their Metallica shirts on, and they're all like, "Yo, man, I fucking love Metallica." And you're just looking at them like, I want to punch you in the face right now. You know what I mean? Because it was like they didn't have a clue of what that old stuff was. All the good Metallica that before that Black Album, but it was like the mainstream enough to just bust it open for
jumping on the bandwagon jumpers. Nobody likes that.
So when they came to town with Suicidal Tendencies, was Robert Trujillo the bass player then?
Yes, sir.
For Suicidal.
Yes,
so
sir.
How ironic. Much later, he's the bass player of Metallica. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd be a fit when it was first announced years ago, but I've been proven way fucking wrong.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I mean, what did he play? He played in Infectious Grooves. He played in Black Label Society. He plays
in Infectious Grooves. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw Ozzy once in life. He was the bass player.
Yep. I seen him with Ozzy as well. Yep.
Wow.
And Black Label.
He's got the crab stance. You can never miss him on stage. You know what I mean? He's got a stance.
I have a lot more respect for that. Like Infectious Grooves, like the bass line there. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
Super funky.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised. They said he was going to be the bass player. I'm like, what? He doesn't fit.
Because that stuff was just so funky and delicious. Man, that bass
player. A singer talking about a bass player. How do we do that?
I play bass. I can slap. What?
You got to mute us again. We're about to be rolling.
We're about to rumble.
Yeah. That's not a bassist.
It makes the same sound.
So you guys, now I want to know how you guys came up with this name. Like, where did Domidium come from?
Domidium? I watch a lot of Science Channel. I was even with Hex Vortices. That being the storm on Saturday, it's the Hex Vortex.
Yeah.
That's where I got to understand we're going to make more metal. So I was watching something about, Pegasus, or 18 Pegasus B, which is an exoplanet, Domidium with an I, and it just changed it to
made it more metal. You know what's cool? It's like gigantic. It's like
It's so big.
So it's a massive.
So, Greg, turn our logo upside down. It
Yeah.
says Winnipewop.
What? What did you
Turn
just
the
say?
logo upside down. It says
Domidium upside down. Our logo it says Winnipewop.
Consumers are aware that our logo is very sharp and dangerous. It
Yeah.
could harm you if you handle it.
Yeah,
Make necklaces will be cute.
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely looks a little pokey. That's for sure. Now,
Actually, it's my favorite logo I've ever done. I always do the bad logos.
It's the most dangerous logo
It
he's
is.
ever designed.
Right? Yeah.
ever designed.
yeah, the logo.
That's a bold statement right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement. Now let me ask you this, because I know there's some gearheads that actually tune in and stuff here. So what
I love gear.
what kind of stuff do you play through? What's your preference, Brian? What kind of stuff are you jamming through right now?
I have a beautiful 50-year-old, well, over 50 years old now, 72 Marshall. It's a 412 cabinet. I refinished it myself with all the stock Tolex covering and the grill cloth, and speakers are original from 1972. They're greenbacks, Celestian greenbacks.
Plastic greenbacks, nice.
Is money.
I love it. And then I run. I have a Fender Super Twin that I sawed in half about 20 odd years ago. It's a combo amp, but I sawed it in half and took the speaker out and turned it into a head.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's the same amp that the Nuge uses, well, did in '79. It's 300. The back of the label on the Fender amp says 380 watts peak music power, which it's like that's not actually what it is, but I mean it's a 180 watt amp basically though. So it's loud as fuck, and I don't even have it turned past 5. And it's already too loud in the space, I think. But yeah, and then I got a PRS 2020. I bought it. It's the most beautiful guitar I ever seen in my life. It's a blood orange top, 10 top. They don't make that color very often, and it's beautiful. And then I have some Strats and a Les Paul. It's my oldest guitar. It's 33 years old, man. 1990s Les Paul Studio, and it's all original.
Nice. Vintage.
And now it will be vintage almost. Even though some of that stuff in that day was kind of
Maybe
He's 30 years old.
Now,
Can you believe that?
now I want to ask you. I want to ask you to give me a list of those guitars again, because I think it's crazy, because those are all cool guitars to me. Like, they're not the pointy fucking,
You want to also know where he has them? Like, as he lists them out, do you want to know where he stores them?
No, because then he'll be
I'm
like,
not giving out my address. I'm proud of my little collection I have. I don't have much, but I mean, I have the 90 Les Paul, and then I have it's a 40th anniversary Fender Strat that I customized. These guys haven't even seen it, I don't think, but it's got Fender noiseless pickups that I put in there, and I changed the neck because the headstock wound up cracking.
Is that the one with the mini bucker?
No, that's my 95. And that one's awesome because I wired that one up myself. And then I also have another, it's a 98 Fender Strat, which, I mean, again, the 90s, they don't really think anything of those, but maybe in another 50 years, they'll be thought of something. So who knows? And then I have this cheap Jackson soloist I bought that they assembled overseas. But I got it for like $500, and then I sunk $200 into it with, some real pickups like Seymour Duncan.
I thought it sounded pretty fucking mean for the
I
price.
souped up my Floyd Rose Arnett. I'm gonna get an Eddie Van Halen D-Tuna and put that on there too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
$40.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, enough of that.
Hell yeah. Now, Alan, what are you running now? Go ahead.
Oh, can I say one other thing?
Yeah.
I just wanted to promote the baddest ass pedal I think I've ever heard in my life in terms of distortion and for metal tone is the Boss Metal Core. That's my pedal.
As someone I always said, like, when we first auditioned, I fucking love your live tone. Like, it's fucking vicious, but it's also tight and clean at the same time.
That's key right
That's
there.
great.
That's key right there. The tight and clean is always fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? Because you can get as dirty as you want with it. You know.
Tight, clean, and vicious though. Like, ooh. Yeah, with a little heavy bottom. You gotta have that fat bottom.
Yeah.
So it's a little scooped, you know, but like, you know, everything comes out clear and crisp. I love your tone.
Marshall Tan, dude, he's 50 years old, man. Don't ever let him tell you age. You know, fuck that. You know, you get better with age, not older, right?
Like a fine wine.
There you go. That's the way it is, right, Tom? Is that how it goes? Hey, Tom. So Tom, how's it feel to be like right at the end of your 30s and shit?
That's great.
He's still kicking ass, taking names.
So I'm saying, man, vintage. You can't tell me that Tom's any worse than he's ever been. I'll tell you what, that's vintage badass right there.
Thomas, first edition, one of a kind. All right,
I got you there.
he's designer.
Oh yeah.
We're reissues. At least this side of the couch.
Yeah. We'll get there one of these.
Now, speaking of Tom, now have you changed any of your stuff? Or you still playing on some of your old kits? You've got a couple different kits, right?
I retired a lot of it a long time ago. I had a primary he did shit. I mean, gunpowder and blood.
That was the first kit you had when I started, right? With the rack.
But I sold that to a fan.
When I tried out for the band, I couldn't even fucking see him. I think I saw the top of his cage. I'm like, hi, Tom. I had to fucking jump over the cage to see him.
Yeah, we were in that tiny room.
You got to tell him about your snare, though, man. He's got that goddamn fucking Vinnie Paul, fucking cannon, man.
The one that's, still part of Pearl, and just rattlesnake snare, the spiked lines. That's my snare.
That snare special ride to every gig. It gets a passenger seat in my truck with a seatbelt.
Seatbelt on it.
That's awesome.
That's
hard, man.
The Vinny snare is riding bitch with me to every show.
But I'm running a Pearl kit now. I've got that for the start of the pandemic.
We all needed something.
They did because they put.
I got that PRS, man. I'm going to die of a virus?
Right on, man.
Guitar.
Hey, now, Alan, what are you running now for amps and basses? What are you doing?
I'm still shit. I got that custom Kiesel Zeus multi-scale about 3-4 years ago, like right before I joined Hex. Yeah. I played that probably 95% of the time. Is that aqua blue bass? If you see in pictures or whatever, headless. Like I still play that one. It's got every tone that I need.
How about them strings?
Yeah, well, like I hated coated strings for years, but I ended up getting some DR neons, like coateds. They're pretty. And I've actually had them on for like when I was with Hex, I was changing strings like once a month. They got expensive because we haven't been playing shows. Like I put these coated on. I've had these coateds on for almost a year, and they still sound good. Like that's crazy. It's like
that's what the coated does. It like you get that.
But I have that one. I got that Kiesel, but I still have.
And they add a little brightness.
The bright green. You got bright green on the blue. Yeah.
Neon green, man.
It's really cool.
Nice.
I still got
an alien base.
I still got my 98 Warwick Thumb, like an 04 Warwick Corvette F&A Jasmine. I don't use that one as much. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it has gold hardware. I bought it. I never liked gold hardware when I bought it, and I still don't like gold hardware. I always feel like weird when I play
that for. Is it 5 or 4 or what?
It's a 5.
I don't have a 5 string. Yeah. I could use it.
I sell for about $2 grand.
All right. Well, I better start saving up.
But no, I got that. I'm still playing my Mesa Subway 800 plus with 2 Mesa Subway 15 cabs. I had, like, for years, I avoided 15s as a basis. I would always do 10s or 12s. Like, if I wanted a little lows, I'd go 12s, or I'd go with 10s for punch. And I tried these cabinets out, and, like, they get low as fuck, and they rattle your chest. But they still have punch. But they don't get that sub low. Like, so it's like, I'm not going to... I mean, if I wanted to play some like dub or like some reggae or something, I'd probably have to throw an 18 or something behind them. But they get low enough, like for metal, for rock, you know. But they're articulate, they're fast, and they punch. And I mean, Brian will speak to them. Like these little 15s,
That's
they
what I
rip.
said, man.
They'll make you deaf.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right at
light as fucking hell.
They're like 20. Like each cabinet's like 25 pounds.
It's like, no, it's
People-
not an effort to move them.
No, people think you're a beast. When I'm loading in, I'm carrying one on each arm. People think I'm just like a little mini Hulk rolling in, but I'm really only carrying 50 pounds. They think I'm rolling up with about 100 pounds. I'm like, yep, I'm yoked, bro. But I'm not, bro. It's only 50 pounds.
Now, Micah, what's your mic of choice, sir?
Well, so
He doesn't help load in. That's what he does do.
I do actually though a little bit. Like, I don't want a reputation, you know. I flipped around with a few mics. Obviously, the Shure, you know, that everybody fucking uses, you know. But
SM58.
I kind of settled with the Sennheiser. Let's see, was it like E935 or whatever it's called? But I just picked up a new pedal. I haven't used it live yet. I'm very excited to. The Mic Mechanic 2 by TC Helicon. I've been trying that out in practice, and I really like it. It tightens things up a lot. Has a little bit of compression and stuff, so like you come out like a knife, you know, like it just cuts through the mix a little bit more. So I'm excited to try that out live.
That's like some good effect to it too.
Yeah, you can add a little reverb or a little echo, you know, like you can if you want, but like so I'm still, you know, just a little bit, just to add a little flavor. I think that's also really good for like when you're doing like power metal vocals. It's cool to have like a little reverb and delay to kind of really make it even huger and more bombastic.
Now does that have foot switches on it and shit like that, so you can bounce in and out?
Yeah, it's cool because the main switch, it has a talk mode. So like when you hit that, you know, you can just talk to the audience, like everything's still compressed and stuff, but it turns off all your effects, and then you click that and it turns on your effects when you want to sing, which is nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now let me ask you this now. With the Sennheiser, opposed to the Sennheiser and the SM58 from Shure, which one do you feel has the better range for your style of vocals?
I mean, they're both great mics. I feel like so the Shure is a lot easier to like mix and like get the levels right. But I feel like if you have the skill enough to mix and get the levels right for a Sennheiser, you can get more out of it, if that makes sense. So it's more of like an advanced mic as opposed to the Shure, which is really basic and gives you what you need out of the box, if that makes sense.
It does. I actually I ran a SM58 for many years because it's like the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a tank. You could
it's a great mic.
You could bounce it off of somebody's head while in mid set while you're doing it and go right back to it. I've seen them crush down to nothing and still work fine. With the Sennheiser, now that's another mic that I went to as well with death vocals, and I really liked it because it's a little bit more brighter. It seems a bit crisper on the higher ends, and when you with gutturals or deeper vocals. And a lot of people don't understand. I mean, you'll note it with impedance when they fan out. They always tell you to keep far back because it fans in a cone like that. You know, you get more range, and as you get closer to the mic, it obviously you're getting more out of it.
You're gonna get a lot more low end. Yeah.
But your highs, when you pull back, you can even your tone out. I feel like you can even your tone out more.
JP Kellerman says, "Hail the SM58."
Yeah. Josh Kellerman says, "Hail the SM58." He loves the SM58.
Hey, I think the Sennheiser, like me, from what I hear with him with it, I feel it just has more of a tighter low response versus an enhanced low end response.
Yeah, I would.
So like that allows you to get closer on it, like get that directed high without like booming out because of the enhanced. Like I feel like the SM58s have an enhanced low. I don't know which flavor you.
I have one simple thing to add to that. that I like about it that you don't think about. So like the shape of the SM58 as opposed to the E935,
Yep.
the way that it's comfortable to hold with your hand. You'll notice with the Shure, it's more comfortable to kind of hold it by the ball.
Yeah.
But you don't want to cup the mic, right?
Right.
But the Sennheiser, it's more comfortable on the where it's, I don't know what's going on here. But you don't have to do that. It's still, I still find myself like my hand might reach up a little bit more. You guys are terrible.
Imagery, bro.
But you know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe this. You know, you're like this, you're like, what am I gonna
as long as you're not
do,
like
man?
this, you can't really
Just don't
do
look at
this.
me,
You know
you
what
get
I'm
it.
saying? Just don't make eye contact. There's no juggling of.
I hold it like this, and you get better sound that way. Yeah, okay, but the shape of the microphone, like, you don't cup it as much. And I don't need that. Like, I have enough power in my voice, and
JP
sound
Kellerman
guys will be like,
says,
"Don't cup the mic."
Micah
Don't
is
cup the
cupping
mic.
the balls.
Josh Kellerman says Micah's cupping the balls.
Adam CD says,
That's my secret.
that's right, you hold that ball.
Yeah. Adam D says, that's right. Hold that ball, baby.
But you know the secret. You want to hit those high notes, you got to squeeze the balls.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the secret.
But that's in the other hand, isn't it? Normally, like you got your mic here and you got your.
It I got two of them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you have a stagehand or a bassist.
Give you. That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Now let's let me ask you this. Like lyrical content. What I see that now with Lucian's Odyssey. What is that one? Where does the lyrical content come from, Micah? Do you take all the responsibility for that, or do you actually take input from everybody else?
Well, when I first joined this band, like Tom, he had a habit of with his other projects writing. And I said, we're going to take on this job. I want to write my own stuff. I want my voice to represent my heart and my truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everything coming out of my mouth is genuine. That's so important to me. With Lucian's Odyssey and with a lot of songs, I take inspiration from stories. And Lucian's it's kind of interesting because it has a story about don't believe everything you hear, read, or see. Which I think is really important these days with the advent of, like we were talking about before, social media and the internet. And there's just all kinds of information out there that's, not exactly true, let's say.
Our message is don't have belief in anything. All the time. It's my philosophy.
Always keep an open mind, but really, so there's one of these really ancient stories written by the let's see, what was it? The Greeks. A story called A True Story by a man named Lucian, who hated philosophers and he hated travelogues, because he found a lot of that pointless. Like there's a lot of misinformation that gets spread. There's a lot of people debating for hours on things that really is unknowable. So what's the point? So it was a very satirical story. It might be the first sci-fi story ever written. And I thought that was extremely fascinating. So I thought, well, how could I make this into a thematic, like kind of epic, that ties in today? And that was kind of the idea behind that one specifically.
Nice.
I think a lot about my lyrics. They're very deep often.
Now, metaphorically deep, or do you actually make story out of another story?
Oh,
do you...
I write. I can write metaphor, like Dragon Slayer, the first song on the album, is not about fighting a dragon at all. It's a metaphor for dealing with and escaping a toxic relationship.
Okay. The toxic relationship being,
So yeah, it's a little. So, yeah, being with someone that's unhealthy. I drew from like some personal experiences, about when you're with someone unhealthy, and I think that's like an important thing to relate to people. Like sometimes you might even be in an unhealthy relationship and maybe not be aware of. You just know that you're unhappy. Like it's a tough thing to deal with, and it's a tough personal thing, but I think it's important to share.
Absolutely, man.
Share what I've learned from that.
No, that's really cool, man. I being a vocalist myself, I really appreciate good lyrics as far as taking the time, and it's not. We're cutting out. What's going on?
What is happening there?
Did it overheat?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. I just can't see you.
All right. So we can still.
There we go.
All right, it's on again. It's on again.
It's on again.
It's on again.
USB connected. USB connected. Alan Snow, USB connected. Alan Snow, USB connected. USB connected. USB connected.
Satan.
Orange, the color orange. USB connected. There we go. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
You beautiful bastards.
Whoa, look, there's no lag. Or less lag.
Yeah, less lag.
I don't know what happened.
Well,
let's just let it roll.
Yes, let it roll.
It's on a different, even a widescreen anymore. So now we're
the box aspect ratio.
It looks good. It looks fine. It looks fine. So
like 4x4.
JP Kellerman says, "It's like it could be none more black."
So vocal wise is I really like the lyrical content to be something that means something, and I know that when you do connect with someone, or if just what you said about the Dragon song, right? So like now that you said it, people will want to come and ask you about it and like get more in depth into it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that helps other people. You know what I mean? Like you're purging yourself of that specific story about a toxic relationship that you can relate to, and putting it out there in the ether. Like more people will be like, I get that. I've been through that. You know what I mean? Tell me how you survived it. Yeah, that type of shit. You're connecting with those people, and it just gives it that much more of a layer for your music. I think it's always good. Thank you for taking the time to be really like proactive in your lyrics, because I think that is fucking badass.
I completely agree. Like bands that I really connect with and I enjoy, and ones that have gotten me through really hard times. We've all had that like band or that album we were listening to where we were getting through something difficult. You always remember it. And and the thing that always sticks with me with those is like the lyrics, how poignant and inspirational they can be, and the words can have so much power in the lyrics. So like for me, if I could be that for somebody else, where I could impart that to them and give them strength through difficult times like that. That is what music has done for me in a lot of points. So that would mean the world to me if I could do that for one person.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I've always thought too, man, when I was a young kid getting into music and stuff, like my ears were really trained to hear the lyrics. Like I realized that a lot with my daughter. At 16, she can listen to a song maybe once or twice and remember so much of it lyrically. As you grow as a musician, if you're I kind of strayed from being a vocalist. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to play bass, I wanted to play drums, I wanted to play guitar, but they just never stuck to me. When it came to lyrics, it was all my shit. You know what I mean? Like I would rather write my own stuff than try to remember somebody else's shit. You know what I'm saying? So connecting with somebody and having that ability to do that has always been something that I've gravitated to, and I know lyrical content, if it really touches you, right, it springboards you into that music even further. You know what I mean? Like the vocalist hits a certain crescendo of a specific spot in the song, or maybe a really, really emotional part in the song as the music's climbing, as it's, building, and it springboards into, a badass guitar riff, or a badass bass line, or a badass drum beat, something that really just impacts you right away. You know what I mean? Hits you hard. Lyrics are always like it's like the first, doorway, the gateway to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Brother, you're speaking my language. I completely agree. Like, music is my way of connecting and communicating in a way that is probably not so easy, like just like me talking right now, but like when I have music and I have the words and I have the, like I write to the music, whatever they write, whatever it makes me feel, is that better? Yeah. Whatever it makes me feel, I write about it, and I think that helps it stick to people. Like, and nothing means more to me when people come up to me like after shows or online or whatever, and they have dissected my lyrics. I've had this happen, and they'll tell me like the whole song's a metaphor, and they'll piece by piece put it together right in front of me and be like, "This is what I got of it." I'm like, "Holy crap! Like you nailed it!" And like it's just that connection. Like it's like a special way of communicating.
Absolutely.
That. And you okay? I'm like getting all deep, and I feel like there's some goofy shit going on.
They're probably rewinding the video of where you were talking about your mic, and they're probably rewatching that because
you got to remember that's the important part. Like
you got to set the mic up properly.
Yes, you do. You definitely do. You need to do that.
I'm gonna have like remixes of this in the future on YouTube. I'm gonna have memes.
Yep, snippets.
Hey, they say no. They say no PR is bad PR, right?
Allegedly, that's how it works. Now, so you guys are trying to you're releasing it. When is it? May what? What the 19th?
Adam CD says, the fact you're able to use your emotions to connect with people, bro, that's really dope, dude. Get deep. Let's go.
I appreciate that, and that's the thing too. Like you're like vulnerable and naked through your music when you go into like I go into like really deep personal stuff. Jesus Christ, like like I said, stuff that's really hard to talk about. Like it's in there. If you really want to know me as a person, just listen to my music. It gets very, very personal sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like that's the best way to connect with folks anyways, man. You could paint a picture with all kinds of different stories, and I've tried to do that before, and it's not as, I mean, when you're doing it live, I mean, obviously we tap into all of the elements, the people in the crowd, the band playing and everything, but if the content is there and it's something that you're really feeling from down deep, you project it more to people, and when you project it more, you pull them into it. You know what I mean? They may not even understand a damn word that you're saying, but when you're projecting it out and you're pulling them in, you know what I mean? You watch somebody like any of the major vocalists from back in the day, even old school Ozzy, Robert Plant. You talk about Dio. You know what I'm saying? Rob Halford. When you watch those guys do their thing, they're true performers, man. They're really pulling you in with every note, every movement, everything, and those good showmen, they just know how to pull you in. And that's my favorite shit about it. And you add the lyrical content on it. It's like a double threat. You just keep stacking brutality on people, man. You know what I mean? Positive vibrations.
At the end of the day, it's about human connection, and like those examples, there's a lot of great, like Freddie Mercury, like when you can feel the passion and you connect with him in that moment. Like there's nothing like it in the world.
Oh no, for sure.
It's also about covers about Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah, well we'll get into the Limp Bizkit covers. Don't worry.
If you were to do a Limp Bizkit cover, and I know you're being, I know you're being silly, but
Tom wants us to let it go.
People love it when we play break stuff live. They're like, "Yo, that was hilarious. That's great. Keep doing it." And Tom just groans. He's like,
What's that? Yeah, I can't hear Tom for some odd reason. It's not popping through.
Because he's
you're gonna have to relay that. I can't catch it.
Jimzilla Renner.
It's on that side because if you're talking too loud, it's clipping everything.
No, It's actually, I'm just not picking him up at all. It was cutting in and out before, but now I can't even catch him.
Jim Renner.
Yeah, Jim Renner. Yep.
Okay,
So
so
he was in a sample show, and he posted right away, like, the Tom Carson did this here.
Got him. Hey, it was good though. All right, people liked it.
People liked it.
Yeah, that's good, man. Now, so you said it comes out May 19th. Is that what it was? May 19th?
Correct.
And you're gonna have it available on Bandcamp, correct?
Bandcamp, and if you want to buy digitally online, or you can contact any of us, we can hook you up. We're going to try to get it in a couple stores like Cheapo.
Yeah.
Cheapo and Down in the Valley and stuff. Now, are you guys going to be setting up a CD release show? Do you have any bands in mind? Do you have any kind of venues? Are you trying to do when is your projected time frame? Yeah, I can't hear Tom. I can't hear Tom at all. It just keeps cutting out. We're gonna switch every time Tom's got to speak. Tom's like, "God, don't make me get up."
Tom's important.
Yes, sir.
I just got it nice and warm.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I do have irons in the fire of bands that we'd like to work with. It's just trying to nail everything down, try to figure out a date that's going to work for everybody. We have our own, hurdles to jump.
Sure.
With time, because
A lot.
we got two dads that have young kids.
Yeah.
That we have to work around schedules, obviously. A venue. Now we're gonna,
Before they shut down permanently.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
So I don't want to reveal the bands necessarily.
That's okay. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I hope that you guys find a venue soon and make sure you send me.
We'll be talking with you about that.
Okay.
Studio B thing.
Okay.
Menudo.
What'd you
Ricky
say?
Martin quit. So
Did you just say you're bringing out Menudo? Menudo? Like you're bringing him back?
No, because Ricky Martin quit.
That's hilarious,
Martin.
dude. That is.
We don't know if they're good enough.
Hold on, dude. I'm actually floored that you brought up Menudo, dude. That's ridiculous, dude. And it's like,
Hey, man. Old school. You remember it all.
That's
Sort of.
fantastic.
All of it. No PTSD.
Some shit I don't remember. but-
Fragmented memories. I got
Yes,
lots.
exactly.
I got
Dude,
lots
that
of those.
didn't happen until Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
All right, so May 19th, the album Beyond is going to be released, Bandcamp, and make sure you get a hold of these guys to get yourself a copy of that bad boy. That thing's sexy as hell. We did get to hear the first.
You can get a hold of that, but don't touch me.
We got to hear some Lucian's Odyssey on that one, and Micah explained kind of what that one was about, man. But
You're doing it.
make sure that you get in touch with these guys and get some merch from them, man. Support these guys and what they're doing. Make sure that you download this and then go buy a copy of it and check it out. We've got one more tune to play. Stout Smasher. Yeah. Tell me what that is. Is that what you're drinking right there in front of you? Is that the Stout
Where's
Smasher?
your stout, Tom?
I'm drank
Out of
I drank it.
No.
Hey, man, what's the liquor store?
Now, can we pretend this is stout? So obviously, it's a drinking song about drinking stout because it kind of a tribute to Tom. He loves stout.
Very special.
It's special, and I thought, I would placate him on that. But I love stout too. I love beer of all kinds, so that's in there too. It's just a song about drinking beer. Simple as that.
Hell yeah, man. Go.
Oh, it's deep. It's deep.
It's a deep beer drinking song.
It's like a dark beer onion.
It's a
groundbreaking beer song that
You
no
peel
one's
back the
ever
layers.
existed.
I like.
Talking about
It's
visual,
true story.
but it's a true story, but it's like it's layers that listen to. Like,
Yeah.
the tracks that they're talking
I
about.
just
Okay.
say I've never had a bad porter before.
There you
And
go.
it's true. Before, never. And I've had like lots of porter.
Here's a little trivia for you. The originals,
I have had a bad stout though.
the song Dragon Slayer,
Okay.
before Micah was in the band, when it was just me, Ellen, and Matt,
We were practicing.
Dragon Slayer was called Stout.
Nice. There you go.
Actually, that's important because that was kind of part of my influence here. I was like, okay, well, they need one song about stout. This will be it.
There you
That's
go.
how I felt.
That's awesome.
Matt Hamilton says, Vanilla bean.
I don't know. What is
Matt Hamilton just says vanilla bean. He said.
it? Vanilla bean. Yes, sir. All will be made clear in a moment.
Original stout.
What was the original stout?
Stout?
Yeah.
These nuts?
I got him. Yep. Stout, these nuts. Got him.
Just play the goddamn song.
All right, we're gonna play the goddamn song. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, man. I wish I had a bigger studio so you guys could have been in here. Would have had a little bit better audio. You guys look great. There we go. Some pretty lines.
Bye.
So that's that.
Taste the rainbow.
Then our camera just quit.
I appreciate you guys joining me tonight, man. Thank you very much, man. Best of luck on the album, and we'll try to get some shit figured out for your album release party too. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
You bet, man. Everybody, check out Domidium. Their upcoming release here called Beyond. We're gonna do the Stout Smasher song. Their beer crushing tune. Don't forget May 19th. This will be out. You guys can pick that up as soon as they're ready to rock it. Download it, play it, show it to your friends, and all of that good stuff. I appreciate everybody for joining us on this fine Friday evening. I hope your week was good. I'm glad that we got to enjoy this gathering with these folks, man. They did a great job on this album. This thing sounds fantastic. So enjoy the Stout Smasher. Tune into Ritual Madness Podcast. I'm trying to do it every Friday, but I got 282 episodes in the can. You can go to ritualmadnesspodcast.com and YouTube and Facebook and all that other good stuff. Make sure you like, subscribe, smash, do all that things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, helping us get one step closer to that monetization. Trying to make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Be a squirrel, get the nut. Thank you. Y'all enjoy.
Celebrate
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual